Hey everyone, it's Robin from Rose and Lily. In this video, we're going to crochet this cute little Christmas tree. It works up pretty quickly and it's adorable. First, we're going to need some chunky or super chunky plush yarn in 2 colors. And then we'll also need some medium weight yarn in yellow for the star. Other items we'll need are a USG crochet hook or a hook to match the yarn you're using, as well as a hook for the medium yarn. Then we'll need polyfill, small pom-poms, scissors, a yarn needle, stitch markers, and glue for the pom-poms. These stitches you need to know beforehand are magic ring, single crochet, slip stitch, chain stitch, increase, invisible decrease, double crochet, and back loops only. We're going to start with the main tree color. In round 1, it's 6 single crochet in a magic ring. I have a full tutorial on how I like to do the magic ring, and I'll put that at the top of the video. Pull the ring tight and I'll be putting a stitch marker in the last stitch of each round. In round 2, we're first doing a single crochet, and then an increase into the next stitch, which is 2 single crochet into 1 stitch. And we're going to do that 3 times in total. So a single crochet followed by an increase. That will bring round 2 up to 9 stitches in total. In round 3, it's 2 single crochet, and then an increase, and we're doing that 3 times in total to bring us up to 12 stitches. In round 4, we're going to be working in the back loops only. At this point, I recommend putting a stitch marker in the first front loop of the previous round. And then we're doing 12 single crochet in the back loops only. And I'm going to leave this stitch marker, which is in the front loop of the last stitch of the previous round. And I'm adding a new stitch marker for the end of the current round. We'll be using these front loops later to add the frills. Now we're going to crochet in both loops again. In round 5, it's a single crochet, followed by an increase, and we do that 6 times in total to bring us up to 18. In round 6, we do 18 single crochet around. In round 7, we're working in the back loops again. Like before, we will be marking the first and last front loop of the previous round. And in the back loops, we will be doing 2 single crochet, and then an increase, and we do all of that 6 times to bring us up to 24. And I'm leaving this stitch marker, which is the last front loop of the previous round, and I'm adding the new stitch marker for the end of the current round. In round 8, we're doing 24 single crochet around. In round 9, we do 3 single crochet and then an increase, and we do that 6 times to get 30. In round 10, once again we're working in the back loops, and so we're going to mark the first and last front loop of the previous round. And we're doing 30 single crochet around in the back loops only. Again, I'm leaving this marker there, and I'm adding a new marker for the end of the current round. In round 11, we do 4 single crochet and then an increase, and we do all of that 6 times to get 36. In round 12, we do 36 single crochet around. Now we're going to start decreasing in the back loops. So once again we mark the first and last front loops of the previous round. In the back loops we do 2 single crochet, and then a decrease, and I like to do the decrease like so. I'm just going through the back loops of 2 stitches. And we're going to do all of that 9 times in total. And that will bring us down to 27 stitches in the round. I moved my stitch marker here so I could continue using the same type. But the same as the previous rounds, you can leave your stitch marker in that last front loop and just use a new stitch marker for the end of your current round. In round 14, we're going to continue decreasing. So we start with a single crochet and then an invisible decrease. This goes through the front loops like so. And we do all of that 9 times in total to get 18. Round 15 is the last round, and we're doing 9 invisible decreases. This will bring us down from 18 stitches to 9. Then we can remove the stitch marker and close with a slip stitch. And now we can cut the yarn. We can tuck that tail into the tree. After we crochet the trunk, it will get sewn on in the second last round over here. Now we're going to add the frills to the tree, and I like to start with the top frill over here. For the frills, we're going to be working in the unstitched front loops from earlier. For the first frill, I'll be starting in one of these marked stitches. But for the other frills, I will be starting elsewhere. This is just so that they're not all in the same place. If you look closely, you should see the unstitched front loops. You can start in any one of these, but I'm going to be starting in the first one, just for clarity. Insert your hook into the front loop and pull through your yarn. And chain 1 to secure it. Then make a single crochet in that same front loop. And a double crochet in that same front loop. Now we're going to crochet around, doing a single crochet and a double crochet into each front loop. Here's a single crochet into the next loop and a double crochet into that same loop. And here's the last single crochet and double crochet. Now I can remove those stitch markers, and I'm going to do a slip stitch into the first frill. Now we can cut the yarn tail and then tie the 2 yarn tails together. Then use the hook or a yarn needle to pull the knot into the tree. Now we're going to do the second frill. Attach the yarn in one of the front loops of round 6. And chain 1 to secure it. In that same loop, make a single crochet, and then a double crochet, and then a single crochet. And that was all into one loop. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. And here's the last frill of the round. And we're going to slip stitch into that first frill. Now we can close and cut the yarn. Once again, we tie the yarn tails together and then pull the knot into the tree. Now we're going to do the third and fourth set of frills exactly the same way as the second. So I'll do this third set off camera. So here's my third round of frills, and now I'm going to do the fourth. And here are all the frills completed. At this point, you can insert the stuffing. Now we are going to crochet the trunk using our brown yarn. In round 1, it's 9 single crochet in a magic ring. It can help to crochet loosely here so that you can pull the ring closed. However, if you prefer, you can do a chain 2 and crochet 9 single crochet into that first chain if that is easier. In round 2, we're going to do 9 increases. This means we're doing 2 single crochet into each stitch from round 1. This will bring us up to 18 stitches in the round. In round 3, we're working in the back loops only, and we're doing 18 single crochet around. In rounds 4 to 5, so that's 2 rounds, we do 18 single crochet around. Close with a slip stitch and then cut the yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing. Now we can add stuffing to the trunk. At this point, we are going to sew the trunk onto the base of the tree. The trunk will get sewn on in the second last round of the tree, so that's over here. There were 18 stitches in that round, and there are 18 stitches in the final round of the trunk. First, grab a stitch from the tree, go up into the trunk, and down into the next stitch of the trunk. Then grab the next stitch of the tree. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. Stop before you reach the end, because you might want to add more stuffing. Once the trunk is sewn on, you can weave in the end. Lastly, we are going to crochet the star using the medium weight yarn and the smaller crochet hook. In round 1, it's 5 single crochet in a magic ring. Pull the ring tight. And then slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round. It can help to count backwards from the stitch you just made. You might need to wiggle your hook to get it into that first stitch. Then we chain 2 and do a slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. And slip stitch into the next single crochet. And we repeat that, so chain 2, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and then slip stitch into the next single crochet. And we're going to do this 5 times in total. And here is the last slip stitch. And now we can close and cut the yarn. At this point, you can take the yarn needle and go right underneath that last stitch you just made. Now that both tails are at the back, you can tie them together. You can use one of these yarn tails to sew the star onto the top of the tree. I like to make a few stitches with one of the tails, and then tie the tails together and then pull the knot into the tree. At this point, your tree is done and ready for decorating. I like to attach mini pom-poms using glue. Thanks so much for watching the Christmas tree tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.